Chicago, grab a pipe, then to DC.
Mr. President, would you like some company?
Get weird and
Hi everyone, I'm Susan Lee McDonald and welcome back to my show, The Interview. You know, this is the age of technology and the internet where so many people realize their dreams online. One such person who did such a thing is a very talented singer-songwriter who, for fun, uploaded a song and became an instant sensation, garnering over 500,000 views on YouTube. You are in for such a treat today because our guest is none other than David Choi. You're going to love this man, and I'm sure that you will become a huge fan of his. So join me as I go into the interview today.
A song that instantly captivated people from around the world. YouTube star David Choi, whose videos have received 109 million views in total to date, became an overnight sensation with a video called YouTube A Love Song. At that time, it received more hits than the music videos of Beyonce and Justin Timberlake. He is currently one of the hottest singer-songwriters working in the US. There's no question how talented this singer-songwriter is. And despite the stereotype against Asian artists, he faces the challenges head-on and strives towards his dream out of his love and passion for music. Get ready for an interview with singer-songwriter David Choi.
David, thank you so much for being on my show, The Interview. It's
Thank you
so
for
great of
having
you
me.
to come here.
Yes, thank you so much.
I understand you've come to Korea just really only a couple days ago, right?
Yeah. I'm here for the Seoul Jazz Festival.
Wow.
I just finished that not too long ago.
Fantastic.
Like 2 hours ago, an hour ago.
Awesome.
It was awesome. There were like a couple thousand people, it seemed like. And it was really hot, but I had a great time.
That's awesome. Well, welcome back to Korea.
Thank you.
I mean, are you over jet lag? Were you feeling okay for the performance?
Yeah, I was over the jet lag, kind of, but the heat made me really lethargic. But it was all fun.
Tell me a little bit about the Seoul Jazz Festival.
Well, I've never performed it before, but they asked me to come out this year. I came out with my buddy Clara C, who's also Korean American. She's very talented.
Yes.
And I just played a bunch of songs, and people seemed to enjoy it. So
you've been performing all over the place, Southeast Asia, Australia, all over North America.
Yep. I haven't been to South America. I'd like to go perform in Antarctica, space.
Awesome. Space Station could always use some good tunes.
Yeah, it's lonely out there. They need some entertainment.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would really like to go to like places like that, just where there aren't a lot of people. I think it'd be really fun.
And you've recently been in Europe too, right?
Yeah, I just got back from Germany about a month ago. It's my first time in Europe, actually, and had a lot of fun out there too.
How was that?
It was very cool. They have a lot of great architecture, and the people there, they're really nice. So.
Did you find that the fans are different in the different towns and the cities that you've been to?
So that's the funny thing. Actually, my fans all over the world, there's something that's similar about them. They're all good people. They're all smart, and yeah, it's rare that I have a fan that's like a troublemaker.
Yeah.
And stuff, so.
Yeah. Well, you seem to kind of exude a really good guy image.
I am a good person.
I
try to be a good person.
Yeah. Is that really a kind of a core value that you have?
I think so.
Yeah.
I try to be. I think everyone should be good. There are times when I'm not good, but I try to be good. A good person.
Yeah.
At least nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. It's 너무 덥죠? I'm gonna start sweating a little bit, so I'm gonna play some songs for you guys tonight. This first song is called Can't Take This Away.
Despite the hot weather, the venue was jam-packed with fans who were there to see David Choi perform live.
I feel great and my mind is in a good place. There's nothing that can make me feel any other way. I feel good today.
sweltering heat to show their love and support. And as a way to express his gratitude, David Choi presented them with his beautiful music that moved their hearts.
No, you can't take us away, yeah.
You started with something called a YouTube love song, and that's what kind of made you a sensation almost overnight. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
One day decided, hey, I'm gonna write a song about YouTube. I wrote it in about 20 minutes. I uploaded it
funny.
just for fun. And in a week, it got featured, and then in a week after that, it had 500,000 views.
Wow.
And people were asking me, do you have music? Do you have songs? Do you do albums? Do you do shows? And I was like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not what I wanted to happen.
Because you were just doing it just for fun,
It was
right?
just for fun. It was just almost like a social experiment, I guess. I don't know. I just did it for fun. I didn't expect people to watch.
Would you mind performing the YouTube love song? I'd love to hear that.
I would love to perform it.
Okay,
Let's do it.
awesome. That's a beautiful guitar.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
The YouTube love song.
When I wake up in the morning, you too. When I dream at night, it's of you, you too. In the middle of the day, you too. You consume my life, you too.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I wish my name were YouTube.
Well, your name is Susan.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately.
Or I can just go. What?
When I wake up in the morning, Susan.
Oh, wow, nice.
McDonald's. When I dream at night, it's of you, Susan. McDonald's.
How's that?
I love it.
Good.
That'll be our new interview theme song.
That's gonna be your theme song.
Thank you. You know, I love the fact that you have a sense of humor, but I'm sure that the fact that you just, made this because you could. Not a lot of people have the talent for singing and songwriting, and the fact that you just kind of whipped this up in 20 minutes just shows that you're a really talented guy.
Oh, thank you. Just for fun.
Because you've written so many songs, you've written love songs, ballads, and funny songs. We haven't talked about your funny, hilarious lyrics. Like, there's one song that the lyrics say, "I gotta eat some kimchi now."
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
That one, I think it was from We're Trapped. So it was something I did with my friend. It was 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning. We were delirious. And I was like, hey, let's write this stupid song. And we did, and we just made a stupid video. And
It's too funny.
yeah, it was just something I did just for fun, because
Yeah.
I'm a silly guy.
Yeah.
I just like to just let loose sometimes.
Yeah, anyone who writes a YouTube love song has to have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I like to laugh at myself sometimes. Not take myself too seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Well, it seems to me that your humor, your obsession with music has really kind of filtered into the mainstream, and people really appreciate that about you. And so, walk me through what it's like for you to write a song. Like, I'm sure that you have your own kind of process with how you write songs.
Yeah.
How would you start?
Well, it really depends. When I feel inspired, and that's a weird thing because it's like this thing that comes like when you don't even realize, like it's random.
Like a magic cloud.
It's
of-
weird,
of
yeah. It's like a
dust.
magic cloud. It's like, and then you're like, oh shoot, I gotta write a song. And then I get my guitar and then I just start going. So there's that kind of writing where I just pour everything out that I'm feeling at the time. And then there's this type of writing where it's like the craft of it, where you're technical and you try to figure things out and you're like, it does grammatically make sense and that sort of thing. Then there's just times when I just pick up a guitar and I just start singing something, like a melody, and I it just comes out, I guess.
So do you cater to a specific audience though? Like when you're writing your songs, are you writing just for yourself? Do you think of, okay, these songs are for Asian American teens, or this is for a certain group?
No, I just write songs that I think are good, and what I think are decent. So yeah, I try not to think like that. I don't cater to anybody.
Yeah. So when you write these songs, where do you get your inspiration? And I'm sure you're asked this like a million times.
I get inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah.
Just life, people that I meet, girls, friends, just everything. Just my thoughts.
And I imagine that you've had to perform your really famous songs, really well-known songs, hundreds and hundreds of times. How do you not kind of lose the enthusiasm, playing these songs over and over, even though they are probably really close to your heart?
That's a great question. Honestly speaking, there are some days when I don't even know what I'm singing about. I'm just singing it because it's been so many times. But I think most of the time, though, I close my eyes. That's why I close my eyes a lot. And I see the people that I wrote about. It's kind of a curse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see the people that I'm singing about, and it's not necessarily an emotional thing, but I do see them. Or I just have thoughts and different things like that.
So do you kind of revert back to the time when you were writing that song and kind of get into the heart space of where you were when you were kind of writing that song?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes no. Or sometimes songs that I've written about someone else, I think about another person because it still relates. Or sometimes I'll think about somebody else, just not in my life, but like maybe in someone else's life. It just depends. Sometimes I'm just thinking about what my next meal's gonna be too.
But you just find your words and your hands playing at this particular song.
Yeah, and there are times also when I don't think about the lyrics. I just feel the music.
I imagine that you cherish every single song that you've written, and that everything is wonderful. Or no?
No, I
Do you not like everything you've written?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't. I write a lot of bad music too. Yeah, I don't even really like all of my songs, actually. It's kind of weird to say that I like it, because it's like my own song. It's just a part of my story, I guess. Something I was feeling at the time. There are times when I listen to certain songs and I'm like, oh, like, I wrote that? Because, people change, and you're like, oh, that's very elementary sounding. So.
Yeah, and imagine what you're going to think when you're 35 or 50.
Yeah. Hopefully I can look back and be like, okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. This one is not. But hopefully most of them are good.
I'd love for you to perform another song for us
Sure.
that is what you would consider one of your favorites or most popular. Is there anything that you'd like to sing for us?
My most popular, well, I would say one of my more popular songs would be That Girl.
Yes, I love that video too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's my most watched video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Lots of views, yeah?
Yeah. I think it's at 8 million or something. Yeah.
Wow. Well, please, by all means, perform That Girl for us.
I would love to.
Oh, tonight I'm feeling fine. I'm alone, just wasting time. No Friday movie nights or romantic candlelight. I'm just having conversations with the thoughts in my head. All I hear are angels crying. Oh, won't they just sing instead? It would be wrong for me to say.
David, when did you begin writing lyrics and composing?
I started when I was 16. in high school. Before then, I was just playing video games, and but it wasn't until 16 when I discovered that you can create your own music. That's when I became obsessed with what I was doing, and I just stopped playing all games. I had no interest in it. It was really just like overnight kind of thing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Was there some type of impetus, some kind of event that took place in your life that you decided that you didn't want to do video games and only wanted music in your life?
Yeah, well, in high school, there was this kid who brought in a CD of like some electronic music that he created. And he showed the teacher, and I was there, and he was like, "Yeah, I created this," and I was like, "Oh, you can create music. You don't have to practice music that someone else created, you know, for hours a day. You can actually be creative yourself and, you know, make your own melodies and lyrics and tracks and things like that." And that really, I don't know, resonated with me, and it was something that I was like, you know, I've always heard melodies in my head growing up, so that's probably something I could do or
That's
try.
wild.
I should try it, yeah.
So then you decided that because you realized that you too could create music, that that's what you're going to do, and so self-taught completely?
Yeah, I was very driven when I was young to just learn everything I can about recording and the industry and how people became successful, and I just really felt obsessed about everything music related.
It's amazing that drive at that age. I mean, that's an age where a lot of kids are rebelling.
I did that too.
You did?
I did that too.
How did you rebel?
I've done some bad things, I think.
Yeah, like
Yeah. What have I done? I don't know. I just was a troublemaker. Yeah, I was a boy.
Yeah.
I was a boy, yeah.
Well, that's totally natural.
Yeah. And I skateboarded on campus when I wasn't supposed to, like those types of things. Got suspended.
Got suspended.
I got suspended.
Yeah. Now, was music a way for you to kind of release some anxiety or make a statement on your life in some way?
I don't think the original intention of starting that was that, but I think it did. I think it did behind everything, underneath what I was actually doing. So when people say music, you know, helps with students, I think that's true. I think it's true.
Yeah. Because it helped you.
Because it helped me, but I didn't really realize it because that wasn't my. I didn't do music because it was like, oh, I want to do better, or I just want to release stress. It wasn't that. It was just. But I think it did.
So going back to what you were saying earlier, you basically just kind of taught yourself how to do music, write music, compose music. You were obsessed and looked online, I'm guessing, to get all this information. And what were your parents saying about this? I know your father, he was in the music industry for a bit too?
Not in the industry, but yeah, he tried to become a singer here in Korea.
Oh yeah.
But he couldn't do it because his family was poor. Actually, all of his relatives tried.
Oh, really?
Not his relatives, his siblings. They're all so talented. My dad he was a great singer. I heard a recording of a song, some music that he did here.
Really?
Back when he was younger, and my uncle played it for me, and it's hard to impress me, especially my own family. But when I heard my dad sing, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like Andrea Bocelli level.
Really?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, had you known growing up that your father was musically talented?
I knew he was a musician at heart.
Do you feel that now with your success and touring and whatnot, that your father is proud of what you're doing? Was there any kind of trouble in the beginning as you were trying to break into the industry yourself?
Yeah, my parents were definitely proud. My dad's happy about what I'm doing, and
I imagine that with any parent who sees their child so talented and really loved by so many people for the talent, that they must kind of be living somewhat vicariously because he wanted to be a performer too, right?
I mean, he still does perform at different like churches and stuff like that. And he plays the auto harp.
The auto harp.
Yeah, he builds auto harps, and
Really?
he is the world champion right now.
Your father's the world champion for auto harps?
Auto harp is a traditional American instrument,
Yeah.
the most American instrument that you'll ever find.
That's too funny.
And here he is being the world champion. He like competed a bunch of times, and he won.
That's amazing. So after having immigrated to the States, he learned how to build an auto harp and then
Build and play and master the instrument, and
incredible.
there's actually a pretty big following, but yeah, and like auto harp, community. But I don't know too much about it. But yeah, he's like the best, I guess.
So music absolutely runs in your family, it seems.
Yeah, my dad's side. My mom's side, they're all artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do you also do some
I'm
artistic
pretty bad,
art stuff?
actually.
Yeah.
I used to love coloring, but drawing, I don't know.
Well, we can't be given every kind of talent under
Yeah,
the sun.
yeah, you can't have everything.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you ever considered your entire dad's side of the family performing together, like the Partridge Family?
That could be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, maybe I should do something like that.
Totally do that.
Yeah, getting everybody together.
I'd like to talk about two competitions that you won when you were a teen. One is the David Bowie Mash-up Contest, and the other is the John Lennon Songwriting for Teens.
Yep. Well, during my senior year of high school, I got the news that I won both of those contests within a month of each other. So I was, on cloud nine during that time. For the David Bowie Mash-up Contest, it was just a contest where I put two of his songs together. It's kind of like a remix. And to make a long story short, David Bowie chose the winner, and it was me.
Really?
And then I won a car, an Audi TT.
Seriously? As a high school senior? That must have been sweet.
It was awesome. But I decided to take the money instead.
Oh,
Like a responsible young man.
How did you decide not to take the car?
And I was like, it would be nice to have a nice car and, maybe get girls and stuff. But no, I was like, I'm going to get the money and I'm going to invest it back into what I'm doing, which is musical equipment, and I gave them to my parents. And then the other contest, songwriting contest for teens, John Lennon Songwriting Contest for teens, that was a lyric writing contest with the theme, the American Dream.
Oh.
So I wrote some lyrics just about American Dream. I don't remember exactly what it was, but Usher chose the winner for that one.
Seriously?
And he chose my lyric, and I got to meet him and get in a magazine and
That must have been exciting for a teenager. But more exciting is the fact that you won these two contests a month within each other, and you were able to make a super mature decision to buy equipment with the money that you won and get that kind of notoriety at such a young age. So what did you decide afterwards? Did you decide to directly pursue music after that?
Well, the two contests confirmed to me. I mean, I entered not only those two contests, but a bunch of other little contests that I'd find on the internet. And those were the two big contests that confirmed, said, David, okay, maybe this is something that you should actually be really, really serious about and to try to be successful in this. So I took that as like a sign. So
now, with you deciding to then go directly into the music business, I hear that you started as an intern at a recording studio.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear more about that story.
Yeah, so I was an intern at a recording studio in North Hollywood. I'm not going to say their name, but it was owned by a few guys, and it was an hour away from my house, so I had to drive an hour and back.
That's far.
I was there. Yeah, it was pretty far. I went there almost every day for 3 years. But yeah, it was a tough experience. I learned a lot of different skills, like making wallpaper, painting walls, and making coffee. I learned how to make coffee.
Oh my goodness.
I cleaned a lot.
I thought you said that you were working for a recording studio. Why
Well,
are you doing all this other stuff?
some of that, I mean, that's required when you intern at a recording studio.
Okay.
But I think I paid my dues. I definitely paid my dues. It was tough, especially as a shy Korean American kid. I just did everything they asked me to do. When I look back on it now, they definitely
Did they take advantage of you?
They
you
definitely
think?
took advantage of me. I even remember writing some songs, composing some, things for TV, not getting credited and things like that. So it was a great learning experience. I was able to observe the way they work with their gear and different, come up with different sounds and just how to, use Pro Tools, which is what I use for recording. And yeah, it was a little tough.
It really takes a lot of dedication to your craft to do what you did. I don't think that it would have been possible had you not been really obsessed with music.
Yeah, I just really wanted to succeed. And growing up, I remember at one point, my mom saying, no, I shouldn't say that. I remember at
You
one.
can say it.
No, I can't. I can get my ass kicked. I just remember my mom saying that if you do music, it's going to be really hard to take care of a family, and you just, life's going to be hard. So that kind of stuck with me too, and I was like, yeah, maybe that may be the case for a lot of people, but I'm not going to allow that to happen, So I tried to be smart about everything and just kind of try to think, 2 steps ahead of my life, or what I would have been doing. So,
Well, it sounds like you've made some really great decisions regarding your career.
well, I also got very lucky too, I have to say. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Luck and talent together.
Yeah, they say you make your own luck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think that might have happened.
definitely. I'd like to ask you to sing one of your, one of my favorite songs of yours,
Okay.
By My Side.
By My Side.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit of how you came up with that song?
Yeah, it was about a girl, and see, the thing is, a lot of people use this for their weddings,
Oh, really?
so it's a very sweet song. But the actual outcome of what happened after I wrote it was not so sweet.
What happened?
It just didn't work out. But people use it for their wedding, so I don't want to destroy that meaning, which it's too late actually, I already did.
Yeah. No, well, the song itself is so beautiful.
At the time, it was a very beautiful moment in my life.
Well, remember it as that.
Okay.
So would you please play
Yes.
By My Side?
By My Side. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm just listening to the clock go ticking. I am waiting as the time goes by. I think of you with every breath I take. I need to feel your heartbeat next to mine. You're all I see in everything. I just wanna hold you. I just wanna kiss you. I just wanna love you all my life. I normally wouldn't say this, but I just can't contain it. I want you here forever, right here by my side.
I heard that you almost enrolled in USC, but you decided to go with Warner Chappell Music instead.
Yeah, so I finished, right after high school, I finished all of my general education at community colleges. And then I was going to transfer to USC, but I got accepted into this workshop. And then after the workshop ended, the publisher wanted to offer me a deal from Warner. And
That's awesome. That must have been incredible.
yes, it was everything I've worked for. It was everything I wanted. It was my chance to become a professional
Yes.
songwriter,
At
producer.
such a young age.
Yeah, I was, I think, 19 at the time.
Wow.
And I was like oh my gosh, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I decided to do that. It was tough, especially having, you know, Asian parents.
Was there any opposition from your family? Because I'm sure, like most Asian families, you know, they mean well, right? They want us to have a good career, and they think that college is definitely the way to go. Any opposition from them?
I think there was, but it wasn't as as strong as I thought it would be. But I think they were not happy about that, because, you know, Korean parents love bragging about where their kids go to school.
Yeah.
And my parents would, growing up, my parents would always be like, oh, so and so went to, you know, Harvard, and he has like this kind of job, and his son's becoming a doctor, and those are great. Those are great things. Lawyers, doctors, yeah, like that's awesome. And you know what? It's hard to get there, but at the same time, it's also hard to get signed.
Yes.
So I
might be even harder than getting into Harvard in some ways.
maybe. So I just decided to just follow my heart and just do it. Yeah.
Any regrets?
Absolutely not. I mean, I can always go back to school. Can I go back in time and get a deal again? Well, I mean, now can I get a deal? Probably, but before, no. Like, I would have had to. I don't know how long it would have taken.
Yeah.
I know a lot of students are always confused about what do I need to do, like they go to college. And I am a strong advocate of being educated. It's very important. I don't think people really realize that, but being educated is very important. But also knowing what you want to do, I think, is figuring that out is really hard for a lot of people. So I can definitely understand the struggle. So you know, I didn't just one day just be like, oh, I'm gonna become a musician and go full force. I'm a little more conservative, I guess you could say. So that's why I did the contests. And after those two big contests, I was like, it'd kind of be stupid if I didn't do this, you know. So I tried to just make sure that this was something that I was fit to do.
Do you feel that your hard work is recognized?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't really matter to the people who are listening, as long as the songs themselves are speaking. They don't know how many hours it took for me to record that. They don't know how deep of a wound in my heart I had to go through to create that product. But yeah, it's as long as people are, you know, listening and allowing the music to speak, or even if they're just listening for fun, like that's I'm happy.
And you were in that program for how long?
I was signed to them for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And what did you learn during your time there?
I produced so many songs when I was with Warner. The recording, I wrote a couple hundred songs while I was there. Recorded a bunch. Met with different industry executives, and it was a weird time. Actually, it was when iTunes popped up and the internet and YouTube, and the industry was actually starting to crumble.
Really?
Yeah. So I was in at a very strange time, but it kind of worked out because I found YouTube, and then that kind of like took me somewhere else.
Wow.
While everything was crumbling, so there was some sort of, I don't know, just there's like this force in my life that just like steers me in the right direction.
Wow. I also understand that you had an iPhone Android app before, and you're also starting up a new one. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is a very unique app that is being built right now. It should be out pretty soon. It has video tutorials and exclusive video content, and then the thing that sets it apart from, I think, any other music artist app is that you can interact with different fans from around the world, like through chatting and stuff. So it's pretty,
So all David Choi fans can kind of get together on your app and communicate with each other?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That sounds really involved. I mean, are you involved in all the steps of the process of building that app?
Yeah, I definitely tried to, have the app people make something that I would want to use myself. So, yeah, hopefully people will download it.
I hear that you love all kinds of techie things, and you're like a tech gadget person.
Yeah, I love all kinds of gadgets. I love social media. I'm interested in that world because I come from that world. I'm pretty much a product of social media. Everything I do, promoting shows, it's all done through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and Instagram, and email. And, I'm not signed to a label. I've never been signed to a label. So I guess I don't have that part of the traditional part of promotion working for me, which is actually really powerful. But I'm able to self-sustain a career just using these different tools that are out there.
I mean, this would never really have been possible without the internet, without social media back in the day. I mean, you were signed to Warner Chappell, and we'll definitely talk more about that later. But without social media, people wouldn't have had the chance to get to know David Choi.
Yeah, the internet is a crazy thing. This was never, something that I expected to happen.
For you to do this as a career without being signed to a label, it seems like you've got to really be on top of your schedule.
Yeah, I like to be hands-on with what I do, as anybody should, any artist should. And I'm a little bit of a control freak too, because I like to just see where everything, how everything works. So that's another reason why I like being independent. And I don't want the constraints. I don't like to be constrained because I just want to be creative and do what I want to do. I feel like if your life is too structured, you lose that creativity and that freedom to just create whenever you want. So that's one reason why I don't want to sign right now, unless they give a really good deal and it allowed me to do whatever I wanted. So.
Well, your music certainly has an appeal for a wide range of fans, and the last time I checked, you had almost 1 million subscribers to your YouTube channel. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I've been doing it for a while, so yeah.
Well, I imagine that after the show airs, that you will have at least 1 million, if not a lot more.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So
subscribe to my channel, youtube.com/David Choi Music.
Definitely.
Don't mean much to me.
YouTube, a love song, the first video David Choi ever posted, was viewed over 500,000 times in just 2 weeks after it was posted, and helped the artist become a star overnight. Now, he has almost 1 million subscribers and has had 80 million viewers to date on YouTube.
You're known for being really interactive with your fans, both online and offline. Tell us about some of the ways that you interact with them.
Oh, definitely social media, Facebook and Twitter. Twitter, I try to reply to as many people as I can. I answer my emails.
So David, who are some of the fans that you could say really kind of touched your heart as you have been performing for a while?
I get all kinds of feedback from my fans. I get all kinds of fan mail from people all over the world. And it could be from, David, you've inspired me to pick up an instrument and sing, or make YouTube videos, as far as fans saying, you've helped me, I was about to commit suicide, and I listened to your music and it just gave me hope.
Wow.
So I get all
That's
kinds,
incredible.
everything like that and in between.
Wow. How do you respond to someone who says that? That's pretty intense.
Yeah, you gotta, and I try to respond in the best way that I can, just like encouraging them and things like that. Because from doing this, I realize that music is pretty powerful, even if I don't mean for it to be like that. Because for me, music's just the expression. I'm just writing it for myself, but it's really strange that that can translate and people can interpret it differently and allow it to impact their lives.
So music is always a part of our lives, but to have music impact us in such a positive way and how you've been able to impact so many people, I think that it's a really wonderful thing that you're doing, and we need more people like you who do it from the heart. In the music industry, I know that there are very few Asian Americans, and you're one of a very small group of people who've become very successful as a recording artist, as a singer-songwriter. I mean, literally a handful of people, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that there's been discrimination against Asian Americans in the American music industry?
I wouldn't say discrimination. Acceptance would be a better word. They don't have acceptance, I guess. We're still a very small, Asians, I say Asians as opposed to just Koreans because, you know, it's like Asians and then Koreans, it's like Koreans.
Yeah.
You know, well, there are a lot more Koreans, but I just kind of group all of us together because we're all in this struggle together in America. So I don't know, I think it's more of an acceptance type of a thing. But like people like Far East Movement, you know, they've done amazing. They hit #1, you know, on Billboard, you know, quite a few times.
Yeah.
And
they're incredible. I love those guys.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they were the first ones. So hopefully there'll be more to come. And you know, Psy, that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are people who are just working hard.
Well, the great thing about music is that, of course, there are videos and people can see you, and I love a lot of your videos. But you know, people are really just listening to music, whether it's on their MP3 player or in the car or whatever. And regardless of what the people look like, if you sound great, and if people like that sound, you know, they're going to buy your music.
Yeah.
And so hopefully. More and more Asian American artists who are really qualified and talented will get onto the music scene and kind of break some of the stereotypes that have been in place for such a long time.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think that's the kind of the hope for everybody. You know, the Caucasians, they have, you know, they've made mainstream. Hispanics have, you know, blacks. I think Asians. It's next.
Yeah, it's our time.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
And you have a big role
Hopefully
ahead
soon.
of you.
2, 3.
David Choi isn't just a singer. He's a songwriter who's written hundreds of songs thus far. But that doesn't mean he won't do any songs written and composed by others.
You were here before.
He has covered many hits, including Radiohead's
Look you
Creep,
in the
which he
eye.
collaborated on with Macy Gray.
Just like an angel, your skin makes me cry. You flow like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special.
David Choi's beautiful voice and acoustic guitar melody blended perfectly with Macy Gray's unique vocals, and together, these two singer-songwriters touched people's hearts with their reinterpretation of the hit song.
I don't belong here.
I'm just curious, what are you doing these days back stateside?
Well, I'm writing right now for my next album. There's no date as to when it's coming out, but I'm writing and I'm just figuring out things like, do I want a producer? Do I want to produce it myself? How am I going to raise the money for an album? And you know, those types of questions. I do different, a lot of shows. I do a lot of shows all around the world, and I doing a workshop with McDonald's, educational thing. That inspire kids and things like that.
What do you do with that workshop? So it's sponsored by McDonald's?
Sponsored by McDonald's, and I'm
Okay.
just going to be inspiring and speaking to kids, having them pursue their dreams.
That's fantastic, David.
And I'm also a part of actually a Korean American leadership program called NetCal, and I'm having a great time just meeting various leaders throughout the United States, and just enjoying learning about how to become a leader. And they select I think 23 or 24 individuals you got to be Korean American who are doing things in the world, and there are a lot of great and successful people in there, so I feel very privileged to be a part of that.
Well, it sounds like you're super busy, back in the States and also traveling. Do you have any plans for touring?
I'm always doing shows. As far as any tours, like long tours. Nothing planned as of yet, but I want to definitely go to Europe more, and I definitely want to come back here as always, and just wherever they want me.
Is there anything that you'd like to pursue within the music and entertainment industry that you haven't yet done?
Maybe one day manage an artist, maybe have a record company, or something different. Maybe open a restaurant, cafe.
I could see that.
I really love food. I love food. Maybe even more than music. I like both.
Well, you've written songs about food, so maybe you can play your music or have your music played at a restaurant that you open up down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I just have a really big passion for food. So. Yeah.
Last but not least, I ask a philosophical question to most of my guests, and in this case, because your talent is music, what does music mean to you, David?
What does music mean to me? Music's just a part of my DNA. Whether I be doing this for a profession or not, I'm gonna love music, you know, and I'm gonna hate it. It's like a relationship. I'm like married to music.
Yeah.
And with any marriage, you gotta work on it, you know?
Well, we're glad that you're doing music because it's obviously something that is not only a passion to you, but your music has inspired so many people around the world. Oh. And I'm sure that your music has also probably helped a number of people get married too.
Hopefully, make babies and,
there
and
you
all
go.
that stuff.
Well, David, it's been so wonderful to have you on my show, and I can't thank you enough for just being so candid and vulnerable with a lot of the difficult things that you've had to go through in your life with regard to music. So,
thank you.
So thanks for being here despite your super busy schedule.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Everyone, thank you so much for being here with us on the interview. We had an amazing opportunity to interview David Choi, the YouTube sensation, and he has had an amazing career in the last 6-7 years that he rose to stardom. And I'm sure that you will be impacted by a lot of his songs. I hope that you buy a lot of his songs. I know that I've become a huge fan of his. So stay tuned to this amazing guy's career. I know that we're going to probably have him on again soon. Thank you so much for viewing us. We'll see you next time. Thank you again for being a part of our show.
Thank you.
So awesome.